share this. It's a rare set to see done on live. Share this on your page, save it, whatever you need to do. We're going to be doing a jade quartz rock set using wave gel and also ether flakes to give it a nice rock look, and I'll do gel marbling on top. This level set is probably a mastery level set, so basically you have to really know what you're doing to execute. I'm gonna see if these two greens will work together, but I'm gonna use these two greens to marble, and they're gonna give a nice blend. I'm using my 12th brush today. It's gonna be giving me more control. I'm doing powder marbling, so I need control. Yep, these two colors should be good together. All right, guys, let's have some fun. So first I'm gonna marble this together to make it look like a jade. We're gonna cap this whole thing, so I'm gonna do this very thin. Some clear here. I'm gonna apply this as a base. So, this wave gel's ether flakes. They're kind of like an iridescent flake. Give it a nice background look. I'm gonna flatten this out a little bit, give myself more shape. Later when I put clear, I'll do more shape. These two greens will come together to make like almost like a marble look. I'll lightly work. I have to put clear here because it's still wet, so I want to put clear in this. This gives it a little more of a rock look. Remember, I'm going to cap all this later. Gotta be careful with this darker green because it's very dominant. So I want to make sure I use less of it, more of the light green. Gonna pat it lightly to give me my marble look. Make sure I get the cuticles nice and sealed. So my client can decide, I just freestyle. You don't need to use too much of this. I just grabbed too much there, way too much. This thing will spread. There's a few layers of this, and then I'm gonna do another layer of gel marbling on top, and I'll bring the rack look together. Let's just enhance the look. Make sure I cover up the nail line. You want to not want to see that coming through. Work with a very wet bead. So you guys, this is very easy set to replicate. You want to replicate it at home when you're doing your client, but it's a few techniques here that requires you to be able to execute very well. Everything I do here will make sense later. For a lot of you guys are like, oh, how's it gonna look? You gotta trust the process. As long as it ends up looking fire, that's all we need to worry about. Hey, what's up from Alaska? Wow. The hardest part is probably getting the marbling look around the cuticle area. You gotta be careful. You want to make sure it looks like a marble and not too muddled. Mixing in the colors together. Nice and sealed in. So that almost finished. We just gotta cap all this later. You guys can already see it coming through. How the set's gonna look like in the end. There you go, nice and thin, because we gotta cap it later with clear. Everything will come through. Remember, this is easy, but not as easy as it looks. Because if you actually mess this up, if you don't put this in, if you don't do this set like nice and cohesive, it actually look like a bunch of crazy stuff. So trusting the process is one thing, but knowing the process is another. Okay, guys. Make sure you execute the techniques well so that everything will come through. You don't want to just try to wing it. So practice first before you try to execute a design like this. Always. You know, on a mannequin hand. So when you actually do it on your client, you don't have to run into issues where things don't work out. There's 4 layers to this design to make it look right. You've probably seen a lot of this done on Instagram and Facebook. A lot of different styles where you do this. You can do this with gel polish. You can do it with powder. Either or, which one you want to decide. I kind of like doing with powder because then I'm like already nice and committed already. I don't have to worry about doing any gel. Only gel work I have to do is putting an enhancement to this design. This doesn't seem like a lot of work, but actually at the end of the day it isn't that much work. As long as you the application process is well done. Just make sure you work with a wet bead. Get your marbling perfect. Way too much. It's okay. We'll take some of that out. We want to have a nice coat, but we don't want it too thick either. We want to kind of like a see-through look, because later on our gel marbling is going to bring out more. Change it up here and there. Okay, let's finish up on the thumb and cap. I thought today's Saturday, everybody busy working. I always do the direction of my marbling reverse on each hand, so I don't want to have everything in one direction. Earlier I forgot to save my last live because I was in a hurry, and instead of saving I pressed delete. I feel so bad. It was such a cute refill too. Shows how long it's been since I've done lives. Okay, we're good. Put away our powder. Now we just put everything away. Slightly clean our brush. Get rid of all the glitter. Now I'm just gonna hit up with clear to cap everything. And we would cap our clear just like how we do a full set. Remember, clear is very, very wet to work with, especially when we're using EMA. So take your time. We don't want any bubbling, okay? A nice proper thickness. We did everything nice and thin. But I'm also gonna give myself a little bit more shaping, a little more width with this. So I'm sculpting it out. Before it was very thin. You don't have to cap all chisel powder. None of my powders I use have to be capped. The only reason I'm capping is this design requires me to cap. This is a marble encapsulation set, so it requires me to cap. But generally these powders, even wave gel powders, you don't have to cap. Only powder you have to cap is you know which powder. Certain brands require you to cap. I don't use those brands because it just takes too much time. But since I'm able to knock out, oh God. So I'm able to knock out my marbling very fast, I can take up that time to cap. This would be the structure bead. I wish I get all the cuticle area. Build my structure. Because it's a straight tip, remember, not a natural tip. So I have to build structure. So that's all I need right there. Gel polish on me. Remember, not every nail you have to build crazy apex. Depending on the client's nails, what's your opinion on MAA primer versus non-MAA primer? What's MAA primer? I've never heard of MAA primer. What is that? What's the acronym for that for? I've heard of non-acid and acid primer, but I've never heard of MAA and AA primer. Primers are more or less the same. What's that MAA? Can you tell me what the acronym stands for? I'm just used to non-acid or acid primer, so I don't really know what MAA stands for. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of structure out here. pH for metallic acid. I've never heard of that. Is it just another word for it's probably another word for acidic or non-acidic. It depends on what you want to do. If I say most of the time non-acid is the way to go, because a lot of clients have reactions to acid primer, but not everybody. So just safest way to go. I don't really depend on the primer that much for my adhesion. I depend on my prep and also my ability to seal the cuticles. So the primer just helps, and pH bonds you don't really need, because that's just to dry out the natural nail bed. For when you work on natural nail beds with gel polish or something like that. When you're working with acrylic, when you rough it up, it's already dry. Yes, it can probably help, dehydrate it more. So the pH thing you're talking about is probably like a dehydrator, which I don't really use, and I never had a problem with adhesion. So I really depend on just my prepping, my cuticle work for my nails to stay on. All these products, yes, they will help, but is it going to be the deal breaker? If you're going to put it on and not do proper cuticle work, is it going to stay on? Probably not, because cuticle work is the key to that. I really don't depend on products for adhesion. That's me as a nail tech. My skill and technique is what I depend on at the end of the day. That trumps any product, which is not to say it doesn't really work. Yeah, I mean, acid primer versus non-acid primer is one of those things where it's not the biggest factor in the world. People just use non-acid primer just so in case the client doesn't have a reaction. Because some clients' skin are very sensitive, so an acidic primer can actually cause issue. So to each their own. Well, Saturday, not a lot of people aren't watching lives. Probably haven't done a lot of lives in a while. And I'm getting warning signs from Facebook about music. God dang it, that's probably why. Lives get restricted because there's music in the background. Thúy, kêu nó bật nhạc xuống đi em được không? Yeah, Facebook sent me a message right now. There's music in the background. Good old music. May or may not have to restart the live. Yep, they're telling me it's gonna get shut down soon. Man, they're so anal with music. Guys, I'm going to shut this live down and restart the live because it's going to go down anyways. So I want to do it my own accord. Just a little bit too flat here. A little more. I don't know why Facebook is so adamant on music. Like, come on. They've been so strict. Yeah, you don't hear it, but there's like a little a thing that detects the music based on the frequency. So as long as my microphone picks it up, They're gonna give me all these issues. Let's see if they shut me down. They just sent me a warning. Usually after the warning, they just shut it down. Or they limit the exposure so people can't watch it. Yeah, it is ridiculous. It happens all the time. All the time. Once they warn you, they limit your exposure, and then pretty much they'll just either delete the live or shut the live down. It's happened to me before. I usually play the music really low so they can't pick it up, but I guess today I forgot, and then the shop just really blasted. Yeah, marble nail. This is gonna be a jade marble. Well, for those of you guys, I'm gonna have to shut down the live because they're telling me it's gonna be shut down in like the next few minutes. So I'm gonna do it myself, and I'm gonna restart the live. So you want to rejoin, you can rejoin. If not, maybe just let it run through. Whatever. If they shut it down, they shut it down. Always Ariana Grande. Every time she comes on the playlist, Facebook's like, no, you can't have Ariana. Every other music is fine, but not Ari. Pretty much same sequence, just capping.
I'm tired today.
You. Me too.
John, do you guys have any soda?
Yeah, why do you never eat when you come in here? You hungry again?
No, I said soda.
Yeah, they have it. Low sugar level?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep the live going. If they shut it down. I don't want to restart it. Too much work. Then I have 2 videos on my page. Hopefully it gets saved. I hope I can save it and then people can watch it later. Need a little bit more monomer. Finish up my capping. This is just the capping. Later on when I'm finished drilling everything, I'm gonna do another marbling on top. It's gonna be with gel polish. And it's gonna tie everything in nicely. And give it like a rock quartzy look. One, two, three. The thumb, I'm gonna have to build a little bit more structure because it's a bigger nail. So I gotta put this one, the chance when you build your apex and stuff like that. shape in there. There you go. One hand done, guys. After this, a little bit of gel more. Look at that. Look how nice it looks right now. Woo! I use this like ether flake. It's not a glitter. It's like a flat, clear, translucent. You can get them pretty much anywhere, but you can buy it at webgelshop.com in the pin link below. I got distracted there. Started to run. Clear's very hard and very easy to work with as long as you don't try to move too fast, because clear capping is like one of those things where you don't want bubbles. Make sure everything stays in. Work with small beads. It's probably one of those things I dread about capping is I hate capping because I have to work with clear. And clear is not based on speed, it's based on, you know, patience. I don't have that much patience. I want that shit to be dry right away. I work quick, so I need it to be done. But with clear, you don't have patience, it's gonna be very troublesome for you. So start running everywhere or it'd be too thin. I gotta time it, make sure that it's gonna be the right consistency before I start moving it. So then I'm just gonna leave it right there and just tap it. When I start seeing it drying up, then I'll start to blend it in. Give myself some structure there at the end, tip. Pull it all in. You want to do as clean as possible because later you don't want to do too much work, you know? Because if your clear capping is not clean, then there's going to be a lot of work for you later. See, I'm building my shape because my tip was way too thin because I used stiletto tips to cut down, and you know, if the client's nail bed's small, then it's gonna get more sharp at the end. So the longer you do it, the less will it through. I'm used this clear to kind of sculpt out my extra shape, and it'll be fine. It'll have that nice clear look on the side walls, and it'll match in with my whole look. You know, like different layers and dimensions. But it takes me a little bit more time because I gotta wait for this clear to dry so I can sculpt it. Because when the clear is wet, you can't really sculpt it. So it just drip. So there you go. I sculpted out my shape that I needed, that little bit that I needed to make sure it's nice and coffin. Wow, they haven't shut me down yet. Probably because I turned on the music in time. I just hope they let me allow to save the live, because usually when that happens, they won't let me save the live. I'll probably save it to my phone and then upload on YouTube or something. This set requires a lot of work. It's in a lot of acrylic control. But if you can get this down, this is one of those sets where you can bust out anytime and your clients will love it. It'd be great for pictures, you know. Show a lot of technique, a lot of ability. When the top coat hits, I guarantee you guys your jaw will drop later on when I finish. See how this is? You see how this is like pointed? I'm gonna build it out, give it more structure. So I do it with my clear. See that? Just gonna sculpt it out and bring it in. There we go. Just takes a little time, but the right finesse. You can build shape and structure, just like how you do with forms. And then we just shape it and make it nice and crisp. Clear, always stick to your brush, no matter how good your brush is. So make sure you clean your brush really good at this. And it's important that you guys cap that cuticle area because you don't want to drill into that thin powder that we did in the base and have the marble just go away. All that work will just be for nothing if you drill into the marble. That's why we cap marble. Because when you drill into it, you won't lose the natural marble look. It will just look like, you know, color faded in. I mean, you don't want to do that. Yeah, this is tedious work. That's why I hate capping. I don't know how people do it. A lot of people do this all day, every day. They use color powder and then they cap. I'm like, this takes forever. That's why I don't like powders that needs to. I prefer powders that require no capping. So I have to go through the whole process of working with clear because working with clear is just dreadful. Well, almost finished though. Only 2 fingers left, so can't complain. The set itself is gonna be under an hour, so it'll be good. It's important that I let this dry up a little bit because I want to make that sculpt at the end there. Let that dry. Take your time, trust me, do not want to rush with clear. I see a lot of people rush with clear and their tips all thin and stuff like that. No, just take your time, make sure you build that proper structure, okay? The bead dry a little bit. It was too early. Let it dry a little bit. Woo-hoo. Almost there, guys. Last but not least. I can almost make it like a ballerina look with this ballerina shape. See how this powder starts getting sticky because my monomer is getting old and old and old. But I got just enough to finish off here and then actually clean my brush. I definitely need to clean my brush. Anytime you go clear, please clean your brush because you will have acrylic stuck into it. I can already tell, see that? The acrylic stuck to my brush. It's because there's acrylic in there right now. There's so much residue. Because clear is not like pigment powder. You know, it's just all acrylic. So it's really potent. When you're using like pigment powder, like, you know, with other colors, there's pigment in there. So the pigment doesn't bond to the brush as much as the clear will. Therefore, that you won't get that much residue. But when you're using just clear powder like this, I'll show you guys. It takes a big beating. That's why you gotta really clean it. So a lot of you guys are having acrylic stuck in your brush. It's probably from that, really, to be honest with you. And there you guys go. So now, look at our brush. See that? All that acrylic just gooped up there. Now we really gotta clean this out. If we don't clean this out, that's gonna seal on up. But luckily, we've been using monomer this whole time, so monomer has kept the ending. So we just gotta push out all the excess. Stick that. You can feel it. Don't do it by visuals. Okay? If you ever clean your brush, you feel it. Dang, I might have to soak this brush. I have some acrylic here from the last set. So I'm gonna soak this brush a little bit. There you go. See that? It's nice and soft. You better get the acrylic right out. If you don't get this out and you leave it for like let it dry, because right now it's still soft, it's still gooey. You can nudge it and push it out. But when it's already set in, it's gonna be a lot more work to do that, okay? Get a little bit more monomer. See, this is the biggest one I have right here. This one from my last set. I didn't clean it properly. So I gotta remove it. Luckily, it's not hardened to the fact that I can't move it. Let's see if I got this thing. Boom. And I'm good. Clean my brush. Feather my finger through. Make sure everything is like that. It means that there's nothing sticking together on the bristles. The only one I had was that big chunk right there that just came out. I lost a hair, but that's the sacrifice I'm gonna get. Boom. Now get your brush wet again. Shape it how you want it to stay. And I want my brush to stay like this, so it's gonna stay like that. Just a little bit of a maintenance thing right there for you guys. After every set, you should be doing that. Keep your brush nice and good. Clean out all the excess monomer, because this monomer is no longer no good. And go in and shape. Let's zoom up a little bit. So generally, you guys should be doing that every time. Every time you finish the set, you should be checking your brush. Now I can make my shape nice and crisp again. Generally, I'll shape it with my brush, so a few strokes here and there, and I think I'm happy with that shape. Look at that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Shaping shouldn't take you that long, to be honest with you. If you're going 30 minutes on shaping, you're doing too much. It means that you're possibly ruining your shape rather than actually shaping. Very minimal, even strokes. Make sure you're doing it nice and straight. I'm not gonna sit here and try to shape everything in. You see that? Yeah. Anytime I shape one side, I always switch to the other side, make sure I get it equivalent. I don't want to switch sides too many. I don't want to stay on one side too long because I don't want it to be wobbly. And generally, within less than 5 minutes, got ourselves some nice coffin-shaped nails, just like that. Not too bad, right? Quick and painless. Hello everybody that just joined. I'm surprised Facebook hasn't taken down the live, but I guess because I turned on the music, but the live is being restricted, that's for sure. It's okay, I'm gonna save this and upload on YouTube. Actually, it's one of my favorite sets to do. So both hands shaping 10-15 minutes I would recommend. Only reason why I tell you guys not to go too over that time, because give yourself like some breathing room, because if you're gonna shape too long, you're actually gonna mess it up. So just make sure you just like, hey, you know, stop yourself and just look at the shapes. Hey, do I really need to be shaping any more in this spot? You know, yes or no, move on. You can always go back. I just don't want you guys to stay in one spot too long. It's called overfiling. It's actually a very big issue with a lot of nail techs. Just like that. There we go. Some nice coffin nails. Now we just go and do some hand filing to even up the surface area. Just like how I did earlier. And this set you can do with different colors too. It doesn't have to be green. I like to do a jade set once in a while. You can do it with blue, purple, multicolor. I did 2 shades of green. See, my hand file will be able to keep my surface area nice and smooth. I always recommend hand filing when it comes to long nails. Your drill bit is not going to be able to get that nice smoothness that you can get with the hand filer. You get so much surface area here with the hand filer, you know? So easy. How fast it is. Less than 5 minutes. Once you see everything is nice and smooth, check the side profile, you're good. If it's not, just keep going. Don't put too much pressure, because the surface, when you're going up and down like this, the surface area is going to get nice and smooth for you already. There you guys go. See? Surface area nice and smooth now. And then now we just gotta do this drill bit and go to the cuticle area and buff, and then we're gonna do our final designs. So sets like this may seem like it take you 2 hours, but you can do it under an hour easily. As long as you get everything in proper steps, proper timing. Because a lot of this is just an application, to be honest. So. And see, that spot right there is uneven. That's why it's lighter there. So I'm just gonna keep hand filing there. Oh my goodness. What happened there? Yeah, they limited it. Oh. nice. You know, it was one of my followers that asked me, can you do more hand filing? I'm like, okay. Now I got really addicted to it because it's actually a lot quicker than what I was doing before. Although before I was really used to doing that e-file, but hand filing has its merits, and I definitely want to show you guys everything and all things in nails that are practical. And this keeps the shape too when you're hand filing. Sometimes when you're e-filing and you drill and accidentally, oof. That's the worst feeling when you drill into a nice smooth surface area by accident. E-file just eats in on it. This is 180, I believe. I used to use 100, so I go quicker, but I ran out, so I'm using just a standard 180. But it's not too bad because my application was nice and smooth, so finishing up here and then do the cuticle work and I'm good to go. I'm about to finish here with the hand filing because a lot of these are already smooth. Shape a little bit. Wow. Show all the same length, which they are. Now for my favorite bit, my sharp bit. Now we do the cuticle work. We're at about a 9 to 10. And we don't have to do this because we already did that with the hand file. I'm going to buff that nicely. This is important because I need to seal in this cuticle area. I gotta be careful too because remember there's a very thin layer of green on here. If I overfile, over drill, I remove too much of it and then it'll look like a gap. That's why it's important for me to put clear on here and cap all the way up top. If I don't, I might accidentally drill off the green. Then my marl won't look as good. This area I couldn't get with the hand filer, which now we'll use my drill bit to do. Make sure I get everything nice and sealed. Cuticles to be like that. And a lot of you guys may be afraid of using drills. There's safety bits. I provide them also on my website. Same exact bit, but in safety. For those that are ready for the sharp, just look how nice and clean that goes through. A lot of times people use the safety bit and they over drill and then you see that little gap in between the cuticle and the acrylic. Look like the client needs a fill. You don't want that. This bit will prevent you from doing that because it's very sharp, so it angles down. Nope, sorry. And this area is all I'm worried about. Make sure I take on the bulk, make sure I blend everything in. Kind of blending into here. But then when I buff, everything will come together. Here we go. See that? You can be very careful. This green is very sensitive because we did a very thin layer. So we go to ham. We're gonna drill over we're gonna drill out the clear. And once we hit that green, it's gonna be a big mistake. As long as I blend it into that nice surface area we have here, later when we buff, everything will come together into one piece. And the cuticle work usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes also, depending how much, if you flush your cuticles well enough. If you flooded your cuticles and you have to drill a lot, then yeah, of course you're gonna spend more time. But if you flush your cuticles really well, you don't have to really do all that. Right here's where the bulk is. Don't move. This is a good time to have your clients relax their hand, because you're using a sharp bit. You're going right into the cuticle area. Last thing you want to do is have a stiff porcelain hand. You guys seen me post a meme? There we go. One hand down. After this is just buffing. And the final touches, some gel marbling on top. We got ourselves a nice quartz, jade quartz set. And when the top coat hits, it's when everybody's been waiting for, that top coat, right? Make sure you get all these corners out. I'll probably teach this in more advanced form of this in my master class in Chicago this October coming up. We're teaching this in gel, but then I'm gonna teach the acrylic version of this. That's why it's important that I'm doing these sets. I'm gonna try to do it with a lot of different color combinations. Show you guys what it's like, so the students can actually learn this in class and execute it in class. It's one thing to watch it, but another thing to execute it properly anyway. Oops. So I'm gonna focus on this area. Flushing the cuticle is the most important. Anytime you take out the E-file, it's all about flushing the cuticles. and you blend on these harsh corners. If it's too much bulk, you want to blend it down. There you go. Lightly. Finish up the thumb. These corners. Remember, guys, when you get used to this, you're gonna feel the acrylic coming away from it. You'll feel, when you're gonna go into the natural nail bed. Okay. Now you guys are worried. Oh, what am I doing to the client's nail bed? You'll know. Trust me. Yes, you're gonna run the issues where you're gonna be over drilling and you're gonna create this ring of fire around the cuticle area, but that's okay. I mean, it's a learning process. Eventually, you'll start getting the feeling for it, and you'll be like, okay, I need to ease up on the pressure as I work. And then you start to see the natural nail bed as you just feel it as you get close, and then you stop. Just like that. Okay. And one last thing I want to do is clean up underneath any excess. You'll have here and there, you have a lot of, especially with the clear, always drips on the bottom. I like to get earth to remove it. Clients don't get anything stuck in their clothes or anything like that. Use a buffing band, sanding band if you're not really proficient at using one of these. You don't want to cut the client. So use a sanding band, but I usually use a sharp band, just get it right through. In and out. Do a feel when there's like a see it like that. That's from the clear earlier. This barrel is nice and rounded, so it gives a nice curvature also when you do this. Or you can leave it under there. I get annoyed, so I don't leave it under there. I see it mentally. And that's it, guys. Let's buff and finish off the set. Remember, we hand filed earlier, 100 grit. So when we buff, it's gonna be nice and soft, just like that. Put the buff underneath. Nice and smooth. Okay, so before I finish off, I'm just gonna go through and check the shape. Drilled, so make sure I'm just gonna run through quick strokes, crisp up the shape, because there's no more filing after this. It's going straight to design after this, so I'll go straight through and just make sure everything's nice and crisp. Not filing, just running it along the line. If I can increase my shape by 2%, it's worth a few seconds that's taking me to do this. A lot of you guys need to do this. If you're still struggling with shaping, you're wondering why when you start doing designs or top coat, your shape's gone. You know, sometimes when you go through and you drill and file and buff, all that stuff, the shape can get lost. There we go. Wash your hands. Now we're going to final. I'm going to be using my, what's that? My white gel art paint. So. Brush. And this brush. New pair of gloves. Here, I got some acetone. Gotta give me 1 second. So now I'm gonna add some gel marbling to this. Gives it like a cracks and nooks and crannies, all that stuff. All that good stuff. First I'm gonna clean my brushes real quick. Yeah, there's a lot of pink in there. I don't want that. Clean this. My video interrupted. Jeez. Okay. My gel machine in position. So first thing I'm gonna do is gonna put a nice matte top coat, a thin layer of matte top coat first, give myself a smooth surface area to work with. This gives me kind of a smooth surface area to do my marbling. Also a sneak peek of what's to come. It's very thin, okay? I don't want it too thick. Okay. Usually if you do this, if you're first time doing this, just do a few fingers this design. And then you can do just solid and all the other ones. It won't take you as long. You have these two like marble encapsulated designs. Okay, take it out. Now I have a nice smooth surface I can work with. I'm gonna clean this acetone out real quick. And add some at the bottom here. Start with this gel white here. It's really thin. Use my flat brush. And I'm gonna blend. Take a little bit of my matte top coat here. Grab my palette. I'm gonna use the matte to help me blend. Give it a smooth blend. Up and down. At the tail end. If we're happy with that, we go here. I'm gonna finish this hand off, and then I'm gonna end the live so it keeps it short, and then I'll show you guys, take pictures later and show you guys what the final product is. The top coat, which I'm trying to find my top coat. Where's my top coat? My students, they take off my top coat. Give it a second, guys. Let me grab a top coat. Oh, wow. I'll use one of the gels. No top coat in my station. It's crazy. I'm gonna have to steal a top coat from my tech real quick. There it is. Found it. Alright, here's the finished look. Well, you guys have stayed all this time. The top coat is the favorite part. The amount of veins you put in is up to you. Just do a different type each one. But it should bring out the marble, the glitter. You gotta get that. Even this, if you top with this, will look good too. But let me show you guys the finished look. Once that cures, I'll show you guys. Look at that, guys. See the dimensions? You can see. It says the gel's on top. It gives like almost like a rat jaded look. There you guys go. Thank you. I'll see you guys later, okay? I gotta end the live and keep it short. I'll do the other finish of the hand. I'll post pictures for you guys later.